Welcome to the Poor Man's Retro Game Room, and you know, lately I've really been playing a lot of retro PC games, retro DOS games in particular. The old first-person shooters, Doom, Heretic, Hexen, Rise of the Triad, Duke Nukem. Man, I've just been into that lately, and I actually found a computer that I had stored downstairs. I didn't find it; I knew it was there. But it had been years since I had turned it on, knew what was on it, and so I actually brought it upstairs, turned it on, found out it was running Windows XP, took XP off of it, and installed Windows 98 on it. And found the drivers for the system board, the processor. It's an Intel Pentium 4, which runs Windows 98 amazingly. And so got everything installed, started installing some of my old DOS games that I still had and had some backups to, and I've just really been enjoying it, and I just wanted to share that with you today. So I was just going to give you a quick look at my retro gaming PC as it stands now. Eventually I want to get a Sound Blaster sound card, you know, the old Sound Blaster. I would like to have a Voodoo AGP is the slot, Advanced Graphic Processor, that's going back to Windows 98. It's got a slot for an AGP card, so I want to get an AGP video card and install it, and, you know, maybe double the RAM in it. But I'll tell you what, right now it's playing what I want it to play, and it's doing it very, very well. So let's take a look at my old my old PC that I've been having a blast on playing retro PC games on. Let's take a look. Well, there you go, and you got to have your old CRT monitor connected, right? Yeah, this monitor isn't the best, but I'll tell you what, it works, and I really have been enjoying it. I found my old speakers, and as you can see, they're pretty beat up as well, and you know, there's marks on the monitor and on the speakers and on the tower itself. And but I found my old Dell PS2 keyboard, and man, it's been working great. All this stuff is really old, and it still works, and it still works very, very well. And as I said, I found my old floppy disks that I had a lot of DOS games backed up on, and I've got a bunch of CDs that I had backed up my CD-ROM games on, and got them installed. I put a new CD-ROM drive in because the CD-ROM drive was bad, the original one, so I got it put in. And it's, like I said, Intel Pentium 4. It's just running great, and as you can see, you know, those old 90s towers usually had, you know, they were just starting to come out with that stuff in the front panel with the USB, and it's cool that 98 supports USB. And then around on the side here, I got all the sticker and all, you know, I got it cleaned up pretty good, and then you can see that little, it looks kind of like a fan, but it's not. It's like a scoop that sits over the fan, and it comes out to that ventilation area. And so that just lets some air in, and it's much needed. I mean, look at the case. It's just, there's not a lot of airflow in there right now, so. But yeah, it's, you know, it's beat up and everything, but oh man, it works great, and it's running Windows 98 just fantastically, so been having a good time. So let's take a look at some of the games that I've got installed and a little bit of gameplay footage, and yeah, let's check that out. Okay, starting off with Quake, and one of the cool things about having Quake on this PC running on Windows 98 is being able to use the original disc and the original soundtrack while you're playing the game. They did a fantastic job of, you know, porting over Quake, and it's on all the newer consoles, and you can get it on GOG or Steam on a modern PC as well, and it looks and runs great. But it doesn't have the original soundtrack, so it's one of the really cool things about playing on time period hardware is being able to use that original disc and you're playing it exactly the way you played it back in the day. And that's, of course, all my goals. You know, that's my goal with any of the retro games that I play. I want to play them as close as possible, if not exactly the way I played them back in the day. And so that's, you know, that's why this PC is important to me, and it's been very cool. And I've just been having a blast with it. What retro PC gaming experience would be complete without Doom, of course. I have the Ultimate Doom, and it came with Doom 2 as well. So the Ultimate Doom and Doom 2 is installed on my hard drive, and yeah, you know how I feel about Doom. One of my all-time favorite games. And one of the cool things about it is my version of Doom 2 that I have installed is version 1.666, and there are some differences. I was looking for a few secret areas that are in some of the modern Doom 2s, and they weren't present because it's, you know, been updated and it's a different game. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. But anyway, of course, you can't leave Doom out of a retro gaming PC experience at all, especially one that's that, you know, is so first-person shooter heavy, like my collection is right now. And we certainly cannot leave out Duke, man. Duke Nukem 3D just has all the attitude from the 90s, and it's like they took all of it and just packed it into one game. What an incredible experience, and brings back so much fond memories. Duke Nukem 3D. Oh yeah. And then who remembers, from the same developers as Duke Nukem 3D, running on the same engine, Shadow Warrior. What a cool game this was, man. And of course it had all that 3D realm attitude from the 90s in it as well, along with the gratuitous violence, everything that you wanted in a game back then, and especially a first-person shooter. And this game rocked, and I'm not aware of any console having a port of this game. And we certainly cannot forget Hexen, one of my all-time favorite id Software first-person games from back in the day. Man, I remember going down and picking this game up brand new and just being amazed at it. Of course, you could look up, down, and you could fly. You had different weapons, and you could, of course, choose different class of characters. You could have the cleric, the wizard, the fighter, the mage, I should say. And they all played different and had different weapons, and man, it was just a lot of fun and hard. It got hard in the later levels, and of course, you know, the puzzles could be a little challenging at times as well too to keep track of. But what a fantastic game! And I'm also going to talk about the game that came before it, that is like a prequel to Hexen that a lot of people haven't heard of. One of the games I was looking forward to playing the most on this PC was Heretic. It came out before Hexen, and Hexen, of course, is Hexen Beyond Heretic, so it's the sequel to Heretic. Heretic is an awesome first-person shooter. You don't have the different classes to choose from, but man, there's so much of the mechanics that are in Hexen in Heretic. You could fly in Heretic, you could look up and down, which is pretty groundbreaking back in the day. And it's just an awesome game. You're not going to play it anywhere else but the PC. And the soundtrack, I feel, is a lost gem from back in the day. I love the soundtrack to Heretic. So if you ever get a chance to play Heretic, man, I highly recommend it. What a great game. And last but not least, Rise of the Triad. Man, I don't hardly ever hear about this game. I don't know if it's just, you know, a game that time has passed on or what, but man, I had a lot of fun with this back in the day. It was crazy and it was nuts, man. The first time I played Rise of the Triad and hit one of them jump pads, and it threw me way up in the air, and I landed on a different platform. It was just mind-boggling. It was awesome back then. It's hard to explain, you know, to people who game nowadays, to modern gamers, what a big deal that was to me at the time, anyway. Man, this game was a lot of fun. Crazy, 90s attitude, of course, galore, and a lot of gore. You know, when you get the rocket launcher and you hit somebody at, you know, fairly close mid-range, and you see an eyeball fly, you know, at you. Yeah, that's Rise of the Triad. Just crazy, nuts, and a lot of fun. Fast and furious chaos. Well, thanks for watching this video, and thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I've been pretty passionate about this, and I've been talking to one of my buddies, Jason from the Kinda Cool YouTube channel. I've been texting him and talking back and forth with him over this whole process of getting this computer built, and he's provided me some pretty good advice, and it's just been a lot of fun, you know, talking with him and hearing some of his memories as well. So if you get a chance, go check out Kinda Cool's YouTube channel. Man, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks, Jason, for the help. And I hope you guys have a great and safe rest of your day, and thanks for joining me tonight.